we've drawn a sample of coolant here. We're going to use a hydrometer to check that mixture out, see what its freeze point is. So we dip it in there. We draw a small sample up into the glass until you can see the hydrometer just floating there. Okay, you just want it to float. And then what we do is we look at eye level. You want to read across with that float there, and we can see it's resting on the letter L here. Okay, we also need to compensate this for temperature. You see the little thermometer down there? We see where it's crossing. It looks like it's at about 60 degrees. So looking on the scale here that's on the hydrometer, it shows that this coolant is actually good down to minus 27. Another tool we can use to check our coolant mixture is a device here called a refractometer. It does nothing more. You take a small sample and put it on the glass here and then measure the light rays bending across it. Okay, we simply put a small sample on there, hold it up to the light and focus. And since we're using ethylene glycol, you're going to want to use the scale on the left. And it's showing, about a 49% mixture. You're going to get a little bit different reading. This is much more accurate than simply using a hydrometer. This one here is actually showing minus 40 degrees. Another tool that we can use to gauge the mixture of our coolant in the cooling system is these test strips, which are readily available from most any auto parts store. We simply take one of the strips, dip it into the coolant mixture, and then compare it. Okay, and you can see the scale on the back there. Our freeze point is minus 33, so we're right in between. As I talked earlier about special tools, one of them was our coolant pressure tester. If we ever have the situation where we may be losing coolant, oftentimes it's convenient to pressurize the cooling system manually without having the engine running. And whenever you're working with this, another good thing to do too is to check the radiator cap. You'll notice the little number 7 on here. It relates to the operating pressure of the coolant system. And we can take our special tool. We have an adapter on here for checking the cap. And what we do is tighten it on, then we simply pump the pressure up to see what the holding pressure of the cap is. And as you can see, this one dropped down, so this cap is bad. Oftentimes when you're looking around, you may see a leak on an engine. We have one over here that looks like it may have developed a leak. We need to pressure test the cooling system. What we'll use is our special service tool, again, our coolant pressure tester, so we can manually pressurize the system and go over and look for the leak. So let's go up there and pressurize the system. Okay, I've attached our coolant system pressure tester to the expansion tank, and we've manually pressurized the cooling system on the generator we need to look at. So now we can go down and take a look at that so we can find that leak and repair it. We've pressurized the system, as you can see down here. This was an easy one. It looks like it's nothing more than a loose radiator clamp or a loose hose clamp on this. Tighten it up. Leak's fixed.